Thank you all. Theodore Roosevelt understood North Dakota as a place where the land tests you and shapes what you pass on. More than a century later, the state is still writing that story, now through the Bakken and through the generations who have built their lives in energy, agriculture, and enterprise on this same ground. This Prairie Side Chat considers what responsible development and lasting legacy mean across generations, and North Dakota's role in shaping the American future. In conversation are Harold Hamm, founder and chairman of Continental Resources, whose work helped unlock the Bakken, and Hilary Hamm, chair of the TR Library Foundation's Board of Trustees. Please join me in welcoming them.
Dad, we're here.
We are.
Can you believe it?
No, it's unreal that we're here.
This is my first time seeing this room. Wow, what a beautiful space. Good to see you guys. Everybody who doesn't know, my name's Hilary Hamm. I have the unique role of playing interviewer and favorite youngest daughter today. And my dad, Harold, has a pretty incredible story, and we'll get into it today. But if you want the quick 30-second version from me, he grew up in rural Oklahoma. He was the youngest of 13 children in a single-bedroom home. He grew up first in the cotton fields and then quickly in the oil fields. And fast forward 50 years later, he's built the largest private oil and gas company in the world. So. But Dad, I can't just talk to you as a business leader today, but someone whose life has been deeply shaped by this beautiful place that we're in, by North Dakota, and also by the belief that every American with enough grit and vision and determination can still change the course of things. So let's start right there. You know, this place means so much to the both of us. Could you just talk a little bit about the role that North Dakota and Medora has played in your life?
Well, it's hard to even sum it up as far as North Dakota. I just came up here to hunt pheasants. But it turned into a lot more than that. Now it's opened up a whole new chapter. We had been a producer from Oklahoma, which was a natural gas state. And when Ronald Reagan deregulated natural gas, and the price went to nothing almost, we decided to turn the whole company around, look for oil. And so we went to the Rockies as part of the Rocky Mountain region. And so that's how I got into North Dakota. And but once it's here, it just kind of grabs your heart and your mind, everything about it. And also, you just got this real deep feeling of destiny, maybe, that this was going to be something, bigger than anything I'd ever experienced. And so that's what it became.
Yeah, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about, the early 2000s and even before that, and the role that North Dakota played in our company, and the role of horizontal drilling, and maybe speak a little bit about how horizontal drilling changed the course of the company, but also the nation.
Well, horizontal drilling, of course, brought on the energy renaissance in America, and went from a low point of 4.8 million barrels a day up to where we're at now, 14 million barrels a day in production. So it just changed the entire world. But it allowed me to find a place, where horizontal drilling could work. We were looking for the exact application, perfect application, and we found it in Cedar Hills. field, and that became the first ever horizontal oil field in the world, right here in North Dakota. And so that began something that grew from there to the famous Bakken now, and where it was actually able to break the code and complete, the shales themselves, and which was fantastic. We knew there was so much oil in those source rocks, the source beds, but you could never produce that, right? But here in North Dakota, we broke the code and began to do that, and that just changed the whole trajectory of energy in the world and lowered the price of energy for every person on the planet. That big. World changing.
And you're going to love this comparison, so maybe I shouldn't make it. But TR came out here to the frontier chasing something. It's a place that healed him, that broke him, and renewed him. And you kind of did the same thing. So you came out here, North Dakota broke you a little bit, built you back up. But was there a moment in your life in North Dakota where you said, aha, this is the moment that could change everything?
Well, certainly, the first wells that we drilled in Cedar Hills did that. It proved that horizontal drilling was the answer, and that was an aha moment. But things were here. You could develop something from scratch. There was nothing there to prohibit you from doing those things. Had wide open spaces. 94% is fee-owned by the people of North Dakota, not the government. So wasn't anything to stop you. And we had a state government that would work with us. We had to have very large drilling units, and in order to create that, you had to have a regulatory commission that would work with you. And here we had an NDIC that would do that, and so it worked, and only in North Dakota.
Roosevelt really believed in our lands, our parks, but also our natural resources, and the duty to use them wisely. What do you wish more people understood about the responsibility that comes with producing American energy?
Well, that you can do it safely and in such a manner that conserves the. Up here, for instance, with horizontal drilling, a whole lot of drilling went on, but you don't know it, you don't see it. It's 4 miles between lanes of wells, without any wells in the middle, because you're going down, turning right or left, and going 2 miles. And then you step over 4 miles and come back the other way.
And it's just that easy, isn't it? Right?
It seems easy now. It didn't to begin with.
Yeah. Dad, so we both just walked through the library for the very first time, separately, so we got to go back in and do it together. But I just want to get your initial reaction. What did you think?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fabulous. It had to be done. And it's just something that out of nothing, has been created here that, again, is a world-changing event. And it's fabulous.
Well, you didn't get involved in this project casually. This project really became personal for you and for me. Why do you believe that TR needed a presidential library here in the place that shaped him?
Well, it was obvious, that North Dakota should be synonymous with Teddy Roosevelt. It's just this where he basically grew into the fabulous president that he was, fabulous person that he was, and this is what shaped him. And so it just made all sense in the world. It had to happen in my belief.
And why you came in 3.5 years ago. I'll never forget the day we got the call from Mr. Ed O'Keefe, December 2022. Why in that moment did you decide to make, this $50 million gift?
Well, first of all, I thought if I didn't do it, who would? So it seemed incumbent upon me to do that. And North Dakota has been pretty good to me. So, so I thought giving back in this manner was something I could do and our family could do. And so as I called each one of you, I didn't get any no's. I got some, really? But I didn't get any no's. And so that was important. But no, it seemed to me that, and it is hard to turn Doug Burgum down. It really is. But no, I thought it was good and then never looked back from there. And I thought we could do it. I thought it could be done. I thought it was one heck of a good idea and a great, huge undertaking.
I think a theme of your life and your work in North Dakota is that sometimes you see things that other people overlook. So I just want to know, what did you see in this project before it was obvious to everyone else who joined and got involved?
Well, I thought it would be, like I say, world-changing. And, it is something that need to be done. This president set our country, and it's so fitting, 250th anniversary. It is so fitting to be sitting here right now. But he set this country on another trajectory, that another era, that if he hadn't, it would have probably been 50 more years getting to the point that he became president. As far as growth of America, but put it on the world stage in such a way that nobody will ever forget. And we're seeing that same effect today, with this, what's going on in our country, that, we are first. But he realized that. So he was envisioning something nobody else did. So it's just a tremendous step in leadership. So it had to be brought out. And this library does that. You walk through it, and if you're not taken by the leadership, something's wrong with you. So I'm glad we're here.
Yeah. So when you heard about this project for the first time, you didn't think it was odd that we were opening a presidential library for a president who's been gone 107 years?
I didn't. I thought it was odd that a presidential library had never been built for him anywhere. It was a huge opportunity for North Dakota, and had to be done right here.
Okay, you mentioned America 250, and I think this is such a fitting moment to be opening this presidential library. But, as we celebrate this big milestone, I want to talk about the American dream, because a lot of people compare you, and they talk about you as an example of the American dream. And I probably also shouldn't mention this, but Forbes just, named you right behind Oprah as one of the greatest living Americans, greatest self-made living Americans. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Right next to Oprah, too.
I know.
Yeah.
And by the way, I met her recently, and she is a fantastic individual, fantastic person. So she was so deserving.
She was. She shaped a lot of lives. But I just want to talk a little bit about the American dream and maybe what that means to you today.
Well, people ask me, you know, is this American dream still alive and well in America? And you know, I've given this answer a lot of times that it certainly is. You know, it's you take great entrepreneurs, they can just, and we've got several in this audience. I see one right there on the front row. Gene done, and well, a lot of people here, tremendous things. You know, that, you know, you take an idea and grow with it here. You have the freedom, you know, just to do that. You apply the energy and, you know, have the freedom to develop those ideas. We're in the greatest country on face of the earth, and it continues to be. It's an experiment that started a long time ago, and socialism has nothing to do with it. You know, it's just raw entrepreneurial will and you know, ideas and everything energy that you personally can put into it, and you can do it today just as well as you could when I began. You know, founded our company 60 years ago. So it is very much alive and well, and we can't give up on it.
A lot of people are going to come to this library from all over the world as families, individuals, elected officials. What do you hope that the next generation of leaders walking through this library will take away after their experience?
You know, I think, you know, Teddy Roosevelt was involved in so many things. But, you know, the raw courage the man had, the boldness of his being, entire being, you know, everything about him, you know, is what America has become. And so it's tremendous. You know, you have to realize as you walk through the library, I think it's impossible not to walk away and think, wow, what can I do? What can I do to change the world? What can I do to make it a better for everybody, for humanity? And that's what he believed. And it's hard not to walk away with that.
Did you have a favorite room?
What's that?
Did you have a favorite room?
Oh, well, yeah, you know, I read the book River of Doubt and all the things he went through there. That's with I don't know how y'all created that, but that's really good. Also, like you know, the room of him being at the White House. And because it points out everything that he accomplished. And then you can't get away either from all the things that he talked about, wrote about, you know, being in the arena. And, you know, it wasn't a critic. You know, it was the person in the middle of the arena that was doing the job. You can't get away from that.
Okay, I've got two more questions, and then I know you have some questions for me. But we're in a moment right now in the U.S. where there's a lot of division, and I think this library can play a unique role in bringing people together and kind of healing the nation, just like TR was healed in North Dakota. Do you want to make a remark on that and talk about how it could play that role?
Well, certainly, you know, it's hard not to get carried away sometimes with politics, but you have to realize we're all Americans. And as he did, talking about the immigrants and everybody pulling together as one, and certainly have to do that now. It's easy to be divided, you know, because we all have separate ideas and separate goals and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, you have to remember that, you know, everybody has a role to play. And being unified is the way it has to be. And we've seen that even in our industry, oil and gas, people that anti-fossil fuels and all that. And, you know, you work with them, educate them, and try to make it better.
Okay, last question. You wrote a book. Someone just came up to you backstage to ask you to sign the book. Can you talk a little bit about your book, Game Changer, which came out a few years ago, and why you decided to write the book?
You know, somebody had to tell the story. And everybody, there have been several people tell bits of it, you know, but what brought about this energy renaissance in America and the world that we are enjoying, that we're living in, energy independence in America. Nobody thought that could happen. My gosh, we were in terminal decline. We're going to just produce it out and be done with it, right? And we had innovation happen with horizontal drilling and able to drain the tight rocks and provide more. We were about to import natural gas. Now we're exporting, you know, all the natural gas to our allies today. We was running out of natural gas. Now it's estimated, as a geologist, over 100 years supply at current rates. I mean, it's a tremendous things that's happened in the last 30 years. But nobody had ever told that entire story of how it began and now where we're at with it. And I thought, somebody's got to do it. I'm not an author, as you can tell if you read the book.
And it came out before AI, so he did write it.
It took forever. Took forever to write the thing. But anyway, there've been a lot of dummies out there buy it. So it's sold about 70,000 books so far. So anyway, it needs to be added on to. There's been some good things happened since that time. But anyway, it tells the story. And I think everybody enjoyed reading about what happened last 30 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. Why in the world, young lady like you, want to get involved with something like this and then decide that you could do the role of chairman of the board, the directors, build something like this? What happened?
You know, Dad, I think I was maybe one of those reallys when you asked us about contributing to the library, and I hope Ed's not here to hear that. But you know what? As soon as I met the people involved in this project, to me it was a no-brainer. I mean, these are the most talented, thoughtful, and relentless people I've ever met. Ed O'Keefe, chief among them, but people like Secretary Burgum, too. These people were trying to raise $450, $500 million to create the largest philanthropic project ever in the state of North Dakota. And they were trying to do it on a quick timeline before our 250th. I thought, this is crazy. But these are my crazy people. And so it was really the group of people that impressed me so much. And having a group of people unite around a vision to do something impossible, but they believed they could get it done, I thought, this is a group of people I want to be around.
Wow.
How good is that?
Well, it's been something to watch and something to be involved with. Was there any time that you had doubt that you'd get it pulled off?
I mean, I can specifically say September of 2023 or 2024. I'll never forget the day. I think when a few people have doubts that it's not going to happen, the whole team falls apart. And so if there's a doubt, you need to say, you address it, hear it out, and show them that you can overcome it and still meet the goals. And we definitely had that moment. And I think there were maybe more moments that I wasn't aware of. But the team still believed it could get done, and it got done 2 days ago. So, yeah. I mean, this is an unmovable date. You can't move July 4th, 2026. So, other presidential libraries, I won't name them, maybe moved their dates, their opening dates, quite a bit. This one never changed. And so I never stopped believing it could get done.
Wow. I could ask myself that same question 40 days ago. Shelley and I came up with Secretary Burgum, and we went through it, and all of the main things were here, components, but there was so much construction going on. I thought they'll never make it. But
You called me, you were worried.
yeah, I called you. I was a little bit worried, but we'd already seen so many great things happen up to this point, with all the generous people, many of who I see in this room, that opened up their hearts and pocketbooks to help along the way, and seen all those things unfold. And I thought, well, maybe so, but man, this team pulled it off. The gentleman that we walked up, President Trump mentioned him yesterday, that actually is going to retire 4 years ago and didn't mainly because of this project. He hadn't been home when we walked up to look at it in 90 days.
They're working 7 days a week on this.
Yeah, day in, day out. And anyway, he was going to go home and see his family. And but is that type of dedication, commitment that pulled it off. So it's fantastic. So anyway, I know we're about out of time. We're going to bring the hook out and get us here in a minute. But anyway, last thing, with as far as your involvement, you have anything in particular that stood out during this entire project that you'd like to talk about?
I mean, absolutely. The dedication of all the trustees, the leadership team, the architects, the state leaders, the local leaders, everyone involved in this project. It wouldn't have gotten done if anyone stopped believing in it. But also, I think the message behind this library, my first reaction was, really, we're building this library for a president who's been gone 107 years? And then I learned the message. He stood for leadership, citizenship, conservation. These are things that were relevant in the Gilded Age. They're relevant today more than ever. We need to ask ourselves, how can we be better citizens? How can we, we care about the natural world, but how do we steward it and protect it? How do we become better leaders in moments of consequence when it really is hard to show great leadership? And so I think those core principles that you learn about and experience through TR's life really matter. But I really am so excited to see how this is going to change people that walk through the library, the next generation of leaders. I think they're going to come out of it changed. And I felt that way, in the years that I've been involved, but going through the library today, it was a really emotional experience for me.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same emotional experience for everybody that goes through it. They're going to be changed. And through this project, all of your team, everybody involved, has changed the world again. So another world-changing event. Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you, Dad.